I've always been a message-oriented rapper, from day one, even on the party jams with Nice and Smooth on Dwick, I said a poet like Langston Hughes. A lot of black kids don't know their culture. They don't know their history, and that's why they act the way they act. They're not proud of who they are. Plus, everybody's just living for today, trying to get instant gratification.
Hello and welcome back to Statistics TV for CellReviews. I go by the name of DJ T-Cell, and today we are back for another review. And today we're reviewing the one and only Gang Starr on their latest project, the best one yet. For those that don't know, Gang Starr are a duo consisting of DJ Premier, which is the producer and beat maker, whilst Guru MC is the MC of the group, and he's pretty much the one that brings the lyrics in to the whole fray. Now, for those that have been living under a rock or don't really know what's going on with hip-hop, Guru actually died in 2010 due to cancer of the blood, and we didn't really expect new music to come out from Gang Starr since their last release in 2003. So this album was a complete shock when DJ Premier actually premiered it and released the track Family and Loyalty with J. Cole and said that a new album was actually coming. It took the hip-hop world by storm. I was very, very shocked and looking forward to what was gonna be in the album. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go straight into the album and review it. This album features the likes of m.o.p, Royce da 5'9", Group Home, Talib Kweli, J. Cole, Q-Tip, and many more. If I have missed out any names, I'm sure I'll get it on the track by track review. Now, going into the first track, the short intro was actually a very good intro. It really done a good job of hyping you up. I didn't really rate it because it was just an intro, nothing really to work with. It done a really good job in refreshing your mind of what Gang Starr has actually achieved in the time that they've been running since 1986, and it done a very good job of showing what they can do on a live stage. Brings back a lot of nostalgia. So to do all of that, they have taken into consideration the 16 years that they have left and not just go straight into an album. Lights Out featuring m.o.p, I gave that an 8 out of 10. I do think that the instrumentation, first and foremost, before I continue, the instrumentation on this album was fantastic. DJ Premier was on job once again. The track commands a lot of respect. It goes in mainly on the street culture and what it means to earn respect and to give respect out. It shows that it's not really something that you can just get just like that. Band Name, I give an 8.7 out of 10. This is also an example of a track of how relevant Guru's lyrics remain, because it's just like, considering that he died in 2010, it's just weird that he's talking the same thing about rappers giving hip hop a band name. I don't know when this track was recorded. Maybe it was recorded in 2006 because Lil Brother also delved into this type of commentary as well in their album The Minstrel Show. Maybe it was recorded around then, maybe it was recorded earlier, but like I said earlier, it does spark the conversation of are people been feeling like this since the 90s when hip hop became a lot more popular? Is this a byproduct of success of hip hop? I did like what Guru pointed out in terms of the grandmasters, the people that pioneered the genre. They are not really reaping the benefits. That's my own words. He didn't really say that, but they're not really reaping the fruits of their labor. I do like the fact that he highlighted this because the people that are reaping the benefits are mainly the new age artists. Whether this was the same topic of discussion back then, where let's say if you were in the 90s, remains yet to be seen. Hitman featuring Q-Tip, I gave it an 8.3. What's Real featuring Royce da 5'9" and Group Home, I gave this an 8.6 out of 10. Lyricism was on point on this track. Like I love the fact that Royce da 5'9" actually took the time out to actually send subliminals to, I wouldn't really say subliminals. It was quite obvious that he was talking about Tory Lanez, about how he when he talks, the beef is squashed. This goes back to when Tory Lanez was kind of sending towards Royce, and then Royce just opened It's a funny time in hip hop. The track again goes back to Bad Name, where Royce the 5'9" even mentions the legacy of Guru and how that could be and how that could be forgotten due to the direction that hip hop is heading. I didn't really rate the Keith Kasim Ilham interlude. Now, from a distance featuring Jeru, the Manja gave that an 8 out of 10. Doesn't really speak out much. It's just there's not much I can actually bring out here. It was a good flowing track in which, if you know the context of these two, you're gonna enjoy. Unlike from the distance, where I didn't really have much to say on it. Family and Loyalty, I have plenty to say on it. I gave this an 8.8 out of 10. This was actually most likely written when Kanye West released Diamonds from Sierra Leone. I don't know why I see parallels with the two tracks. I do like how Guru actually flipped it, not to raise awareness of what's happening in Africa like Kanye West did, but to raise awareness of how interconnected that we are, the same way that diamonds have that bond within themselves of different minerals and chemicals. It's the same way that loyalty and family have that bond. I really actually loved the way that Guru actually displayed this information. I pretty much loved that. J. Cole's input though, I actually liked it. I liked how he actually approached the track. I personally think that he struggled to deliver his point. I don't think, I just think that in terms of this track, he paid homage, which is really good. But when it came out down to bringing his point home, where in which he set up about being a voice to the community, about the community that, you know, he talks about mainly about deprived areas, he could have actually expounded more on how they are like family, and you know how they have been loyal and been more like a family to him, and how they are like diamonds to him. That's what I was thinking he was gonna do because of the setup, but again, the payoff, it was very disjointed from the actual cornerstone of the story. But does that mean it was a bad track? No, absolutely not. It was a bad feature in my opinion. I think he's had better features, but this I personally gave it an 8.8. I personally think that Guru's storytelling here, this track hit me on a whole different level. Get Together, I gave it a 7 out of 10, and that's me being completely generous. Nitty Scott's contribution on this track actually make me think maybe Guru and Nitty Scott could have been done in a way that they go back to back. But I can understand how difficult that would be to actually achieve. That being said, Neo's contribution to this track is he shouldn't have been on this track, period. I think that this is possibly the worst I've heard Neo ever, and the fact that I haven't heard him for a long time, and he used to bring out a lot of great singles, good albums. He has been awful in this track. I don't even want to go into the whole Spanish line that he was talking about. He was so lazy. I have no words. I personally think Nitty Scott was actually a lot better on her own to talk, and it would have been a lot better for either to have Guru have his own story, and she brings in her perspective, and then they make a song out of that. Aaron Ray could have done this. Bryson Tiller, I think Bryson Tiller would have been a great fit for this, to be honest. But yeah, Neo's, no, I'm just not feeling it. So Many Rappers, I give an 8.5. It really does give a lot of context to what possibly happened in Bad Name, and it, again, this is the relevance I'm talking about. It remains relevant in today's age, which again begs the question: how when was this written, and how much of a competition was it back then? Business or Art featuring Talib Kweli, I gave it a 7.9 out of 10. It's a kind of continuation from So Many Rappers. It goes into the age-old question of how artists usually approach this topic. It does kind of add a bit of context as well to Bad Name, where Guru was talking about how the older rappers who kind of pioneered this art form are not really reaping the benefits of all their hard work. So that does bring a lot of context. That does bring a lot of light, because a lot of people, they were doing it back then for art, and nowadays people are doing it more for a business move. So that question that's being posed here, it's a good discussion point. Miniature Part 4, I actually featuring Freddie Fox and Big Shug, I actually gave this an 8.3 out of 10. They have actually improved a lot since Miniature Part 3, which I heard on their last album. But that being said, like I said, this album doesn't even feel, because of this track here, this album doesn't actually feel like it is a tribute album or anything like that. It really does feel like as if Guru is still alive here with us. I think if they're going for that, they've really captured it. They've really got that essence, because this album feels very current. If you didn't know that Guru was dead, and you would think that these people are still, they're still touring, they're still going out, they're still rapping till today. You would actually think that they're alive. So this album did actually achieve that, if that's what they were going for, like a legacy living on kind of album. Bless the Mic, I gave it an 8.2 out of 10. It was a really good outro to the album. Kind of brings to all the topics that we discussed to an end. Don't really have much more to say apart from overall score. I gave it an 82%. I do think that this album is it is a very good entry into Gang Starr's discography. I wouldn't say it's their best, but for in today's climate, it is actually a very good contribution. I still can't figure out what the missing piece is. I don't know what it is, but I can't put my picture on it. Maybe it's just the way that the tracks are aligned. But like I said, like I think what they set out to achieve with the album, which was maybe reviving Gang Starr, I think it's done that. I don't know, something in me still feels like it's missing. Let me know what your thoughts are on the album. I personally think that this album is definitely I would say go out and buy the CD. I would also support this group if possible, because support this group best you can. Premier has done a very good job of bringing out Guru's old raps again. Don't know exactly how he done it. I don't know if this was already recorded before he died. I don't know if he just took a couple of his acapellas and brought and put him into and make an instrumental to them. It must not have been easy to make this track. But that being said, I'm gonna bring this review to a close. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Is Gang Starr gonna go out on top? Once again, shout out to those that have been supporting us. Shout out to those that has also been sharing this on their socials. You guys are the true MVP. Watch out for the statistic pod that is coming out very, very soon. And yeah, I'm just gonna bring this to a close. Thank you so much for checking out the review. Peace.